Okay.
We're on live. We're on live now.
Hey,
Here we are.
Right. Hello everyone who's watching or what?
So what's going on?
This is episode. This is episode 3 of the R.A.T group, and tonight we're joined by the long-awaited Dan, aka Rocky Balboa 101. There you go. There he is. And of course, they got.
You can call it the R.A.T group for tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit that title though. But of course, I'm Alex 2.0.
I'm Thomas from Horror Fan 34.
From Horror Fan 34. So yes, and tonight we're gonna talk about the films of Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, our favorites.
Two of the best action stars.
Yeah, the top two guys.
Absolutely, the top two best.
And yeah, we're gonna talk about our favorite films from them, and any most of the movies that we've seen and we loved or we didn't like.
Yeah, exactly. This is basically just like a walkthrough of the filmographies of Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone.
So,
who should we start first?
Well,
Sly started first, so I guess
Sly did come on the scene first.
Yeah.
Well,
let's all go over like an idea. Like let's all have like maybe an idea of a certain thing. Because I actually have one, so I'll just let you guys have.
Well, let's just go over how about their first big break film that was an action film for each guy. How about something like that?
Okay, I have I actually have IMDb up right here. So if you want, so we're talking about just like a specific like first big action movie that Stallone was a part of.
Yeah, because I mean, Sly was in like.
Because you figure his first big was Rocky.
Right. Yeah. So I would say that for him, and Arnold, would it be Conan?
Yeah, that's the first big thing he got on the board. Yeah. But if you want like the very first like action movie that I guess you would say Stallone did was in Nighthawks.
Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, what year was Nighthawks?
81.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that's true because Rocky is really a drama. The first Rocky.
Yeah, because that's not Rocky's more of a drama. That's not really an action movie. So, like action movie, I say Nighthawks is probably the first big one for Stallone.
Okay, so yeah, Nighthawks and Conan, and I would say going over those two films, Arnold had the better action start.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
I think he did. Yeah, because you figure Arnold around like that time, after he had Conan, like just going through Arnold's filmography here, like his first then you figure you had Conan the Barbarian, which was his first, and then he had the sequel, Conan the Destroyer. Then after that was his first big break in the action genre was the Terminator.
Don't forget Red Sonja.
Yeah, I was about to mention Red Sonja.
Red Sonja was actually after Terminator.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny because he plays pretty much the same role as Conan.
Yeah.
So, what's everyone's thoughts on the Conan films? I mean, how do you feel about those for Arnold?
I feel like those are really fun films. It was a really great start to Arnold's career. It definitely made up for Hercules in New York.
I haven't seen that one.
That's not really Arnold's fault. I mean, like that was his first movie, trying to speak English. So I can't really blame him for that. But I think both the Conan films were a great start to Arnold Schwarzenegger's career. It was a really big jump for him. It's a popular character that everybody knows about. Like when people think about popular Arnold characters, they think of Conan, they think of the Terminator, they think of the Predator. I mean, like they think about like the really big characters that Arnold played, and Conan's definitely one of them. And I think both of them are really fun films in their own way. But I think the first one's probably my favorite of the two.
The second one gets actually trashed a lot. The Destroyer.
I don't understand why it gets trashed.
I don't either. It's not really that bad.
It's fun.
I actually have it. I think. Oops.
Is it because it's PG, that sequel?
Is that PG, the sequel? Yeah, it was PG, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a part of
Yeah,
the hate.
it don't pay, but 1984.
And then the first one was actually I keep forgetting that the guy who directed the first Conan went on to do Red Dawn and all that stuff.
Oh, that's right.
On Millions. I almost forgot. Yeah, the guy went who did Red Dawn, not the remake people. I mean the classic Red Dawn.
Here's Red Sonja.
It's been a while since I've seen the Conan films, but they're definitely that's a memorable character for Arnold, like you said, Thomas. And there's definitely memorable parts that I can think of in my mind. I can't think of for sure if it was from the first or second one. But you know, Grace Jones, I remember she was in the second one. I don't think the first one, but yeah. So I would say those were. I don't know as far as box office how those did, but those definitely kind of put Arnold on the map as far as action hero goes. He was humongous in that film.
Yeah, I don't think she is in this one.
I'm looking up the. I'm actually looking up the box office right now for the Conan films. The Conan the Barbarian. I'm just trying to look that up.
I think the first one was a big hit, not the second one.
The first one. The first one was definitely a hit. It cost 60. Yeah. The first movie cost $60 million and it made $130 million worldwide. So it was definitely a big hit for Arnold. And then the sequel. Yeah, the sequel wasn't really as successful. The budget was $18 million and it only made $1 million.
What?
Fail.
And
for real, only one.
And the director of the sequel, trying to see what he did. The guy that did the sequel, Conan the Destroyer, went on to direct Red Sonja.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
He also did movies like Soylent Green, Amityville 3D.
So
Alex, do you have anything to say on the Conan films?
No, because I have never seen them.
I
know.
No wonder you were so quiet.
Yeah, I've seen clips of them, but I've never seen the whole film.
It's such a great character.
I sent you the VHS. I got VHS.
Yeah. It's cool. You got VHS. No, it's freaking about. I mean, I've seen some clips. Like I seen that whole scene where James Earl Jones turns into like a giant snake or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the same director as the sequel did Red Sonja. I don't understand why didn't they use why didn't Arnold actually play Conan? Like the same director, same kind of time.
It was more about Bridget Nielsen's character than him.
Yeah, no, but he plays his name is different in the movie.
Yeah,
it's I don't know why they decided to change it. It's weird. Like I actually did try to see Red Sonja one time, and I got halfway through, I got bored.
You know what it reminds me of? It's like He-Man and She-Ra. It's like, He-Man was in the same universe as She-Ra, but it's like
I can't even say I've seen that movie all the way through. So.
Man, I can't even tell you if we ever talk about Red Sonja. I can't remember Red Sonja too much. That was one of the Arnold films I never really watched a lot compared to Terminator and all that stuff. So I don't really know much about Red Sonja, but I remember it being a pretty decent.
Yeah, I actually got it here.
Red Sonja?
I found this at a thrift shop.
What was that, $1?
It's 25 cents. But this goes for crazy prices online now. Especially because
how much?
CBI or Fox version.
How much?
It goes no, I seen one for $45 open. So I mean,
that's probably more than it made in the box office.
Yeah.
That's more money than.
So what's everyone's thoughts on Nighthawks then? I guess if you look at that one.
I feel like Nighthawks is probably one of Stallone's most underrated movies.
I agree. It's underrated. I feel it's underrated.
I'm going to stay quiet on this one. I'm gonna stay quiet on this one again.
Well, hey, Alex, I'd like to feel a little bit better. I didn't actually see Nighthawks until maybe I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. So that was a late one for me. But the actor that played the villain,
Rutger Hauer,
Rutger Hauer,
the Hitcher,
he was really good in it. He was very memorable.
He was.
He's a great actor.
I mean, Stallone and Rutger Hauer in the same movie is great. I like both those actors together.
Yeah, and I would say, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's better than a lot of his other, not big name titles. Like, there's like Victory. Would you think it's better than Death Race?
Oh,
well, he's not even hardly in there.
It's better than Death Race. Death Race, I feel, is a more. I don't know. Well, no, that's not true. I don't know.
Really focus on Stallone that much.
Yeah. Death Race is a very unique film.
Yeah, it is.
So that's kind of a memorable film. But, hey, Thomas, what year was Nighthawks again?
81.
And then Conan was what?
The first Conan was 82.
Okay, so definitely Arnold had the better start there.
Yeah, because I don't think Nighthawks did that well. I don't think it really made much money. I'll look it up just for the sake of it. Nighthawks. No, that's not the Nighthawks I was looking for. Not an oil canvas painting. Sorry.
Because didn't he do Staying Alive a year before?
No, Staying Alive was 83.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the budget was small for Nighthawks, so it only cost $5 million to make it and made $19.8. So I guess that's kind of a hit, but not as big of a hit as the first Conan. So definitely Arnold had the better box office for an actor.
Well, speaking of Rutger Hauer, like we were talking, like he was good. He was the Hitcher, obviously, but what about Blade Runner?
Yeah,
he was in Blade Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner.
I mean, he's great.
I mean,
I've seen Blade Runner, so I'm not going to stay that quiet. But it's been a long time. I've only seen it once.
I feel like Rutger Hauer is such a great character actor. He really is.
Yeah.
I mean, like I think The Hitcher is a classic. I think that's probably one of my top favorite roles from Rutger Hauer is The Hitcher. Sure. I mean, granted, Sean Bean did a good job in the remake, but I think Rutger Hauer is far superior.
Yeah, I prefer the remake. Not sorry.
Well, not to say I don't like it because I actually do.
But Rutger Hauer was good, really good in the original Hitcher.
Yeah, but it was like a lot more different. Like the remake was kind of more like the female instead of the male.
Yeah.
Like the female, like in the original, the female dies, but the male doesn't. In the remake, the male dies, but the female doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like switched around a little bit.
Switcheroo. Yeah. I know because I saw the remake first.
Could have had better music choices, Alex.
Wait, Tom, the music's fine.
Nine.
You love that song. It's a great song.
Oh man.
Here we go. Every time I go like on a long drive, I play that song. It's tradition.
Oh, maybe you'll meet Sean Bean and he'll.
Probably not. I'm not big enough a hitch.
Those 4 words. I want to die.
But yeah.
Hey, well, I have an idea. How about this? Why don't everyone state their #1 favorite Stallone film and #1 Arnold film?
Okay.
Out of everything they've done, #1.
Should I list Stallone's first or should I do Arnold?
It doesn't matter.
No, wait, are we talking action film?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Like a Stallone film that you just love the most. A Schwarzenegger.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, my choice. I'll say my Arnold choice for second because that's going to be a shocking one. But
I know what it is.
I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say.
My absolute favorite Stallone film of all time. I mean, like I'm going through his filmography. I'm like, oh my god, like I love Demolition Man. I love Cliffhanger. I love Over the Top. I love the Rock films, Lock Up, Tango and Cash, and the Rambo films. And I'm like, oh my god. But for me, my favorite has to be Cobra.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, Cobra is great. Cobra is one of the closest things that Stallone got to being in a horror film, other than I See You. This is probably the closest he's ever gotten to being in a horror movie.
It's still a slasher. It's considered.
I don't know if you know the trivia behind Cobra. That was the Cobra character was originally going to be for Beverly Hills Cop. Stallone was going to be Axel. Was going to be the Axel Foley character in Beverly Hills Cop, and he wanted to change the character name to Axel Cobretti, but the studio said no. So Stallone took that idea and went on to do Cobra instead. So then we got Eddie Murphy for Beverly Hills Cop, and we got Cobra with Stallone. And I think Cobra's just fantastic. It's very fun action, really, great lines, a lot of really great one-liners. I'm the disease, you're the disease, and I'm the cure. And who can't forget Brian Thompson as the Night Slasher? Who cannot forget Brian Thompson?
Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I just think Cobra is it's great. It's a great '80s movie. A lot of great action, great villain in Brian Thompson. I mean, it's a very fun character that Stallone plays in Cobretti. I really do enjoy, and on top of that too, I'm a fan of the director George P. Cosmatos. Tombstone, Rambo 2. Trying to remember what else he did. I'm trying to remember what else he did. He did Rambo 2, Cobra, Tombstone.
Cobra is one of the rare instances we get to see Stallone throw kicks.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my best. That's my favorite part when he comes out of the apartment and he kicks those guys' asses. And he's like, ah!
Yeah, so that's definitely my favorite Stallone film is Cobra. Love it.
That's a good choice.
How about you guys?
Well, you want to go first or me?
Good.
Well, you already know mine.
Rocky.
It's Rocky, hands down. I can't. I used to not like that film when I was younger, but I have got it. To me, it's a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece.
It is. It's a good one.
Yeah,
it's a great one.
That's mine.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to be my choice as well.
I can't blame you. It's a great one.
I only have 2 films that I've ever given like a perfect 10 to. I typically won't give a movie a 10 because I always feel like there's always room for improvement. But that's one of them that I give a perfect 10 to. Like Rob, when I was a kid, kids I don't think get it because it's more of a drama. You got to follow the story. But yeah, it's great. I mean, it really shows you that Stallone can act, and people don't realize that the man can act, and also people don't realize how great of a writer he is.
He is.
Yeah,
and director, because he directed. He went on Rocky 2.
It's like if you want really good drama role films from Stallone, go see I See You, folks. And another one too that gets no one talks about is Copland.
Oh God, yeah, that's another one that his acting skills show.
I would say Copland.
If you think Stallone can't act, folks, go watch Copland as well.
Oh yeah, I put Copland up there as far as
top 5 at least.
As far as his acting ability, as far as being a dramatic actor, Copland is up there with Rocky. And what I like about Copland is that he plays a completely different type of character that he normally plays. And I know we're off topic, but I just want to say that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I guess it's my turn. Oh, I'm not gonna be quiet on this one.
What about you, Alex? What's your favorite Stallone film?
Yeah,
well, easily Rocky 5. I mean, it's just okay. No,
Is it really Rocky 5?
No,
I'm like, oh my god!
Fantastic. Wow. No way. No, I have to agree with Rob and Dan. It's the original Rocky. I mean, it's a simple underdog story that you root for the underdog.
And I thought you were going to say Rocky 4. To be honest, I thought that's what you were going to say.
No.
Well, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't blame you if you said that because I know a lot of people like Rocky 4 the best.
That's the one I've seen. That's the Rocky movie I've seen the most, though. Rocky.
Yeah.
When they used to marathon them on TNT back in the day.
Yeah.
That's how I got into those movies. But yeah, like Dan mentioned, like some people, younger moviegoers, can't really get into a movie like Rocky nowadays because it's slower pace compared to like dramas, or even dramas nowadays.
I was kind of like the same thing with you guys too. I never really got into Rocky once I got like older. I'd probably say like toward like the end of like when I was in high school, I started watching it, and I really got invested into it when I was in like at the beginning of high school.
Like when after Rocky Balboa came out.
Yeah, Rocky Balboa came out in 2006, so I was still in middle school at that time, and I didn't really watch the Rocky stuff until like my first year of high school. Then that's when I started falling.
I will say like that. You guys mentioned Stallone can act when he's on his A game. Yeah, I think the biggest proof for me is Rocky Balboa, which is funny because when I first saw Rocky Balboa, I hated the movie. I don't know why.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I remember even like a few years ago, I commented on one of Dan's videos, like when you guys were talking about Rocky Balboa, and I said I don't like that one. I like it less than Rocky 5. And then like when I rewatched him again before Creed 2 came out, I really got into it. I'm like, why did I hate this movie? This movie's so good. It was exactly what everybody was talking about all these years, like how it's just like emotionally driven.
It's a depressing movie, but I think it needs to be in that.
And just like how he just portrays a broken man is so perfectly.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, he does it really well.
Because Adrian was his heart.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
I think why he plays that character so well is I think there's so much of him in that character, Stallone himself. Even if you look at the Rocky films, you know, when you watch Rocky 3, that story is mirroring Stallone's life at the time. You know, Stallone became popular because of the Rocky films, and then he started to take things for granted. Well, that's like exactly what's going on in that movie.
Yep. Yeah. In the morning, I rub myself with Smeo Megley.
Smeo Megley.
So after I saw Rocky Balboa again, like, I almost put it up with the original, honestly, as in like emotional in the emotion department.
You know, you got me talking about Rocky now.
Of course, I mean, like
Rocky Balboa. I just have to say this. That movie meant so much to me because, you know, I was a fan for a long while before that, and for years that movie tried to get made, and I was continually following online where like, it might get made, it might not, it might get made. It was like for 10 years that went by, and I would have like, I'm not kidding, I would have dreams about watching that movie. And I wanted that movie to come out so bad because I didn't feel like the series ended on a great note after Rocky 5. And so when that movie was made, and then when we saw it, like it was perfection to me. Like to this day, I don't think they could have ended the series any better than how that movie ended. Like I feel like the movie ended perfectly, which is why I'm not a huge fan of the Creed films. But that's for another day.
Yeah, we can talk about those later. If you want.
We were there the first night Rocky Balboa opened, and we were the only ones who dressed up. And they could tell we were Rocky fans. And like,
yeah, because like when it comes to like fans dressing up as characters to watch a movie in theaters, it's usually like those comic book movies or like some like Star Wars and stuff like that, but not really like Rocky.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's why. But I mean, you guys are super fans, of course, you had to.
Hell, I mean, like when I went to go see BBS, I had my Batman shirt and a Batman hat on. So,
well, yeah,
I mean, that's almost what I do. I do just T-shirts, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I took this to watch the Power Rangers reboot. So yeah.
Well, I dressed up for The Last Jedi, and I regret it.
Here we go again. Oh shit, the fucking Last Jedi.
Oh man.
It's not bad. I mean, just
there was a guy giving away free stuff for promoting the movie. I wanted to like throw that away in the garbage right in front of me.
Rob, you know you should have said to the guy?
What?
The stinks. This whole place stinks.
Oh man,
this place stinks.
That's for another series.
Yeah.
But
coming this winter. I mean next winter, whatever.
Isn't that what
December?
Isn't that one of the lines that like Sean Bean says in the movie, like winter is coming?
That's from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, winter is coming.
That's from Game of Thrones, yeah. But yeah, that's so yeah, our favorite Stallone films.
Wow, it's kind of like I'm in like
Dan, Robin, and myself pick original Rocky, and Thomas said Cobra.
Cobra,
Yeah.
yep.
oh, yeah, that's still that's a great choice though.
And now come to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think all of our picks are gonna be different.
Ooh, let's talk about me. I'm the one. Get to the chopper. Come on.
So, kindergarten cop then?
What's up?
Twin? Junior?
God. Junior.
Yeah, who wants to go first for their favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
Go ahead, Thomas. You can.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So you're saying you don't know what my favorite is, but Alex does know.
I know what it is.
Yeah,
He
don't.
said that
I have an idea, but I'm not sure.
I mean, like, just going through the ones that I could have picked. I could have picked Terminator 1 and 2. I could have picked Total Recall, Kindergarten Cop, Red Heat, The Running Man, Predator, Commando, the Conan films. I could have picked Collateral Damage, Last Action Hero, True Lies, Eraser. But for me, my favorite Arnold film is End of Days.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah.
Because the reason why End of Days is my favorite Arnold film, just I know that's kind of like not everybody's like top choice for Arnold. I know it gets hated on a lot. I don't understand the hate that it gets. I mean, like, that was a film that I remember seeing for like the first time for like a few years ago, and I remember just like loving the hell out of it. I fell in love with it. I'm like, oh my god, like Arnold versus the Devil. Like, how much of a cooler idea can you think of? And you know, it's a really great character that Arnold plays. He feels named Jericho. I mean, you know, him messing up the devil with a machine gun and like he has like bazookas on his machine gun, and he's messing people up, and he's fighting the devil, and you have a great
a choir boy compared to me. A choir boy.
A choir boy.
You want to fuck with me, huh?
A choir boy compared to me. A choir boy. Great. And I think whatchamacallit's fantastic as the devil. Gabriel Byrne's great as the devil. And of course you have, you know, Robin Tunney from The Craft as the female lead. I think she was really good too. And on top of that too, the director of End of Days is one of my personal favorite directors, Peter Hyams. I don't know if you're familiar with Peter Hyams as a director.
What else do you direct?
I've heard it, but
he's directed so many good movies. He rarely makes a miss, in my opinion. I mean, I'll go through some of the Peter Hyams films that he did besides End of Days, just to give you an idea of what this guy's directed, because this guy has directed a lot of good stuff, tons of good stuff. He directed Outland with Sean Connery, which I love. He directed 2010, the year we made contact, which is really good. Running Scared with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines. It's a fun buddy cop movie. The Presidio with Sean Connery. Narrow Margin with Gene Hackman. He directed Stay Tuned, which is a fun comedy. He directed two of my favorite Van Damme films, Time Cop and Sudden Death.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, Time Cop.
And on top of that, and he also directed The Relic, which is a really great horror film from the 90s, which I really enjoy as well. So Peter Hyams is a director I really do enjoy, and this is without a doubt my favorite film of his, because I just think it was such a great, different kind of role for Arnold. And I think this was his comeback after his heart attack.
It was, yeah.
Because it was a hell lot better than friggin' Batman and Robin.
It's a lot better than The Sixth Day. I didn't really care for that one.
Sixth Day, yeah, I didn't care for that.
I remember I saw the Sixth Day once, and I remember laughing a lot. I don't think I was supposed to.
Yeah, I remember the Sixth Day.
I don't know if you guys remember the sequence. I think the bad guys were trying to kidnap him, and then like he had a present for his daughter, like a doll. Am I getting this right?
I don't know.
He had something like that, and then it was one of those talking dolls, and then one of the bad guys crushes the dolls or shoots it or whatever, and then the doll is like one of those dolls like I have a boo boo, and it was like all messed up, and I remember laughing at that. I don't know why. Well, that's all I remember.
What's funny is, I saw that first with you.
You showed me, or didn't you show me that?
It was in this room though. It was here.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So we watched
19 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. But I honestly, that might have been the only time I've seen that film, and I just remember it being like just okay.
I think I've seen it twice. I just don't remember too much about it.
Yeah, but that's my favorite Arnold film. End of Days.
Okay.
Cool.
You want to go next, Alex?
Sure, I'll go next. Favorite. This is a tough one, but I have to go with the original Terminator.
It's great.
I know a lot of people will pick Terminator 2, and yeah, objectively, it is a better movie, but I will always prefer the original.
I don't even because mine, so I agree with you.
because like it's more of a horror film. I was like, I like that. It's like a robot from the future, like stalking and killing, trying to kill somebody.
And on top of that too, I mean, like he doesn't have a big role in the movie, but it's a really great small role by Bill Paxton.
Oh yeah.
Guy's down a 6-pack.
Yeah, and I think Brian Thompson's in it, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's one of the
he's the one. Yeah, he's the one that says wash day tomorrow. No, nothing clean, right?
Worked with Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah.
Those Bridget Nielsen.
I want to get like I want to try to get the exact line. So I don't want to mess it up and look silly. But
what the wash day?
No, the one
I already said it.
No, I'm talking about some of the things that Bill Paxton said.
Oh, and Terminator.
Hey, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a 6-pack. Fuck you.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't believe.
And Arnold. Yeah, that's he's underrated actor. Yeah, but Arnold was a great villain, which I always kind of like more.
He is a good villain. Yeah.
Him as villain, I always preferred a little bit better than him as the good guy. Thomas got disconnected again, but he'll be back. He always comes back. He's like.
This happened the last 2 times that we've had.
It always happens just him.
I know. Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong.
Gotta be his connection, right?
Well, because Alex is hosting it, so whoever's connecting onto it. So yeah.
But it's always him though. No, it's never Rob or me.
We should just
this is gonna
when he comes back.
Yeah, we should hide.
Just be like
this is gonna become a running gag.
Alex, just duck down. Whenever he comes.
Hello? Alex? I knew it was going to happen eventually. I knew the connection was going to get lost. God damn it!
I just told the guys like this is going to become a running gag. You would get disconnected.
I'm like, where the hell? Where did everybody go? I'm like, did they get? I was thinking to myself, like, what the hell happened? Did they get pissed off? What did they say? Screw this topic and just walked away. I'd rather do the MC.
we got
no more internet connection. Gone.
It's like, yeah,
Alex is like he bends down like.
Yeah, it's like just like another unfriended movie.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Oh God.
Where are we at?
We're talking about Terminator. The original Terminator. I picked that as my favorite Arnold film.
It's a great one.
Yeah, because it's more of a horror movie. I was like, oh, I like that. I always kind of preferred it over the second one.
So what's
So
your
that's my
favorite?
pick.
All right. So what's your favorite, Rob?
I agree with Alex. Terminator. I would have said Terminator 2 or even True Lies, but the first Terminator, like I just recently rewatched it, and I'm like, man, this movie, it is amazing. Like, I find it so scary that there's like a robot coming after you. He doesn't stop until you're dead, and he goes around just killing anybody. That whole police station scene when he goes in there and starts shooting everybody up, like that is the best. Like,
yes.
It's one of the best scenes ever in an action film because he's doing this and he's like he has so much energy, just and I'm like, man, and Linda Hamilton, she's hiding, and I'm like, oh, I felt so scared for her. It's like, I don't know, I had a different experience this when I just rewatched it. So nothing against, like I said, Terminator 2 is so good, but
It is.
Terminator 1, I just prefer him to be bad. I don't know. I like it.
I do too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my pick.
What's yours, Dan?
All right. Well, this is a tough one actually for me because Thomas, you were rattling off so many good Arnold films, and so as you guys were naming yours, I'm thinking, man, what am I going to pick for this? I'm trying to think. Okay, so
Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
The Iceman cometh.
Since Rocky is my favorite Stallone movie, and I look at that because I feel like his performance was so good in that. So I'm trying to think of what movie I think Arnold's performance was so good in, and also a great film. So I have three. And I'll tell you the two, and then the one I guess I'm going to pick, and I'm going to do it different. I was going to say Terminator 2, but just to be a little bit different. And the other choices were True Lies, but I think I'm going to go with Predator.
Wow, yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
I figured it was maybe one of them. That's everybody.
When I look at again, Predator, like Terminator, was a kind of a new type of film. I think I can't think of any film that was like that film. And what I like about the Predator is even though it is kind of an ensemble film, Arnold is in the ensemble throughout the whole movie. It's not an ensemble where like, okay, it focuses on one character here and one character there. It's like they're all in the group. So Arnold does have to chew the scenery like the entire film, and especially by the end of the film when it's just him against the Predator, that's probably like a 20-minute section where it's just him doing all the action and acting. So I'll go with Predator.
It's a great.
It's more than just a B monster movie. Like it's different.
Yeah,
it's very different from that.
It's good acting chops too for Arnold.
Right, and that's what I was trying to think of, like Terminator. I'm not dissing the Terminator at all, because obviously Arnold is a robot and is pretty emotionless most of the time, but that takes skill. But again, like in Predator, I feel like that probably was maybe harder for him to do.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah,
you are one ugly motherfucker.
That's also the movie with maybe one of the most quotable, quotes, lines.
Oh, and it's the series that he's got the Terminator series and Predator. Like they've made so many other Predator movies, but not with him. And he said many times he'd like to do another Predator film, but it's always the script that it comes down to. But that's a series I feel like he could have made a series from that movie.
That's why I'm so pissed off at Shane Black for Arnold wanted to be in a Predator movie, but he wanted him as a cameo, and Arnold didn't want.
That's the thing. Like they've always only asked him just to do a cameo, and he always said like, no.
Yeah,
right.
Like what the hell?
He should be one of the stars.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah. Well, that's what fans want. People want that.
Yeah, no one wants to see the Predator.
No. I mean, this is kind of off topic, but they could have just had Thomas Jane just be the star of The Predator. Just have him be the head honcho.
Because Thomas Jane is Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane.
What was that?
I said him with his Tourette syndrome in that movie.
God.
Oh man.
Thomas Jane deserved much better than that. That was completely a waste of his time.
You know, I kind of feel like he was kind of blacklisted, but I don't know why. Because what happened to him? He was like a leader. He was like a lead, and
he was coming out with a lot of films, like after The Mist, and then Punisher, and
yeah.
This kind of sucks.
Yeah, because I remember like Dan was saying what I like about The Predator. I'm thinking to myself, no, it's called Predator. The Predator.
No, not The Predator.
We never.
Well, that's why it's stupid. That's why we're confused now. That's why we have to be confused. Like, you can't say "the" in front of it.
Exactly.
Does anyone have this might be something to go over. How about like a guilty pleasure of both actors?
I was just gonna say that. Yep.
A guilty pleasure for me, for Arnold. Guilty pleasure for Arnold.
For me, the guilty pleasure would be Batman and Robin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And why?
Because it's funny.
Stay cool.
Because it's a pretty fun comedy. Yeah.
My favorite was Bane in there.
Oh, I'll tell you what. My favorite line of Bane was bomb.
Yeah.
Exit.
Monkey work.
Yeah.
I got one. I found my guilty pleasure. I'm like, I had to think for a minute. I'm like, oh, I got it. My favorite guilty pleasure for me, I know people hate this movie, but my guilty pleasure has to be Jingle All the Way.
I think that's
fuck. I should have picked that one honestly, because I do like that movie, but
I don't.
Is it hated though? Really?
It is hated. It is hated.
Ridiculously cheesy. Things like that. Just not, yeah.
I mean, like, when I say guilty pleasure, I'm not saying it's so bad it's good. I mean, like, I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's so bad it's good. I think it's a good movie, but it's a really good guilty pleasure because, like, Arnold acts, like, so differently. He acts more silly, and I think it's funny to see him act that way, Oh, poor baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, and Sinbad, like,
I think the back and forth between him and Sinbad was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
And Jim Belushi and him worked together in Red Heat. That was kind of cool to see them together.
Belushi was the fake Santa. Yeah.
The fake Santa.
And he had a couple cameos in that whole scene too with the Santas. He had Big Show from
Big Show.
All right.
Before that, wasn't he known as Big Giant?
The Giant, yeah.
Yeah, before he was known as Big Show.
Yeah, because I remember.
And you also had Mini-Me himself.
Vern Troyer.
Which
is funny, because before I found out that was actually him, me and my brothers used to say, Mini-Me, because it kind of looked like him. Like, oh, it actually was him. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was Mini-Me, yeah. But and I'll tell you that too, I mean, like, Jingle is also a film too, where it's like, I think it's not one of Arnold's most popular movies, but still, it has really great, memorable lines of dialogue that I still remember.
Put that cookie down now.
Put that cookie down now. We do eat my cookies.
So, like, now I was gonna say, but maybe this isn't. I don't know how this is liked in the community. The World Wide Web community. Kindergarten Cop, would that be considered a guilty pleasure?
That's actually quite liked by a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. It is actually liked.
Yeah,
I think that is a good choice.
Like, it seems like everything after True Lies was hated from Arnold. Like, everything after that.
True Lies wasn't hated. I think that was
no, not True Lies, but everything after True Lies.
Yeah, Batman and Robin got hated on.
Batman and Robin.
Jingle Away. End of Days.
I have one that's actually considered maybe a guilty pleasure / underrated because no one ever talks about it, and it's Raw Deal.
That's a great one. I like Raw Deal.
That's great. That movie's great. It's got Robert Davi from Goonies.
Darren McGavin from Christmas Story.
Yeah. But that's no one ever talks about Raw Deal. It's just
I think that's a good one. Raw Deal. I like Raw Deal.
Yeah, I would consider that in the category of maybe underrated guilty pleasure, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know if I've seen. It's been too long. If I've seen that,
we'll watch that. Maybe we'll watch that one night. Show it to you.
Alex, have you seen that one?
Which one?
Raw Deal.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But would you guys consider underrated and guilty pleasure to get the same thing, or because I look at them differently?
Oh well, Rob said he was just.
I would consider it a guilty pleasure, but I feel the movie is underrated to most people because, like you said, Alex, you've never probably heard of it, have you?
I've heard of it. I just never seen it.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember.
But yeah, Alex, I'd say it's two different things. But I think Rob was just saying that movie just happens to fit in the category of both of those things.
Okay.
I can't remember who.
I have a different movie for underrated Arnold.
So do I.
But we have to go to first Stallone.
Oh, I'll go first on this one, if you don't mind.
Our guilty pleasure Schwarzenegger, right?
Yeah. I would say Jingle All the Way.
All right.
And then Rob said Raw Deal, and I.
Yeah,
Batman and Robin, and then Thomas picked Jingle All the Way. All right.
This is definitely for me a guilty pleasure for Stallone, and it's definitely an unpopular film of his, Oscar.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Oscar, yeah.
It's one of the few comedies that Stallone actually. I can only think of a couple comedies that Stallone's actually done. This one for me works. It actually works. I find this as a good film. It's a smart film. There's a lot of actors in it, and they all are playing kind of like characters. But it's a great. You got to pay attention. But I love that movie.
I've only seen that movie once. I got to watch it again.
Yeah, I have it on DVD. But and it's a comedy, and Stallone's great in it. That's definitely, I would say, my guilty pleasure because I know a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, we've already talked about Stallone's comedies don't work typically, but I feel like that one definitely worked, and it's still one that's.
I think Oscar is probably his best comedy.
Yeah,
that's without a doubt his best comedy, hands down. That's a good one. I like Oscar.
I have to. I mean, I kind of have to disagree in a way. I mean, I think it's a very good comedy, but there's one. Well, I'll just unless you want me to go next because there's one I feel that is a huge guilty pleasure, and that's Rhinestone. I think that's a huge guilty pleasure. He's hilarious in that movie.
The thing is, I don't like Rhinestone, but I think Stallone's the best part about Rhinestone.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with that movie, so it's like my parents were always watching it, but I don't know. I like it because he's a cab driver trying to be a country singer, and Stallone, he can't sing for shit anyway. But it's like, I think it's funny to see him try to do that, and when he's on stage and stuff, I don't know. I feel like it's just genuine. I
think he's easily the best part of Rhinestone because I think he's having a lot of fun with the role.
Yeah,
that's what I need to. Like you were talking about Oscar, I need to watch Rhinestone again because I've only seen it probably once all the way through and sitting down, and I don't really remember too much about it.
I mean, I agree that Oscar is a really funny movie. I just got to watch it again, but
yeah,
I think those two are films Stallone actually did a good job.
Yeah, I can't think of any other movies that besides like Tango and Cash.
Well, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, but that was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
That was actually not a good
he was hilarious in Tango and Cash. I mean, he was.
Tango and Cash, he was great.
Yeah. I think that's like a Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon,
like
buddy cop movie. Yeah.
That's actually my favorite buddy cop movie, Tango and Cash.
Wow, okay.
I love Tango and Cash. It's my favorite buddy movie. Him and Kurt Russell are great together.
I was always hoping they were another one.
I kind of wish we saw more of those two guys together, but sadly we didn't.
Yeah.
So, what's your guilty pleasure for Sylvester Stallone, Alex?
I'll probably have to go with Rocky 5, but seriously this time. Because even though I don't think it's a good movie, it's easily the weakest of the Rocky movies, including the Creed movies. It's just still entertaining in a way, and it's like all like cartoonish, cheesy way. It is. When we're watching it again, the Duke. What is that his name?
George
Duke character? Yeah. He's funny. Yeah. He is a cartoon character.
Yeah.
And Tommy Gunn.
Yeah. I mean, like you can.
That third fight, you got to admit, is pretty awesome.
It is. I mean, I could totally see what Sly was trying to go for with the Rocky fight, but it just comes off as silly. The execution wasn't all there.
John Avildsen directed 5 and 1.
Yeah.
And when I remember an interview during the filming of 5. They were asking John, "Oh, what's different now when you directed the first Rocky movie?" And what he said was, "Well, Sly's on his cell phone a lot more." So you could tell that Stallone. I don't feel like he was full of himself, I think, when that movie was being made, and I don't feel like he put his full effort into that movie.
And it sucks because the work print version, because we just watched it recently, not too long ago, and there are scenes in that actually make Rocky 5 better, but then there are scenes that just make it like, oh my god, I'm glad they didn't have that.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Yeah,
I've never seen a work print, so is it available on YouTube?
There's scenes on YouTube, but the full one is not on YouTube. I honestly, I just remember, I don't remember how I got it, but it was on the internet and I was doing a search and some site had it downloadable. So I downloaded it and I burned it onto DVD. So that's how I have it.
All right. So Thomas, you picked one, right?
No, I didn't go yet. I'm going. I figured I'd let you go first before me.
All right. So what's your pick for guilty pleasure?
For my guilty pleasure, for Sylvester Stallone, my guilty pleasure is Judge Dredd.
I was wondering if somebody was going to mention that one.
Yeah, Judge Dredd's my guilty pleasure for Sly, just because just how way over the top he is when he takes the mask off. I'm the law.
You betray the law.
I am the law.
I didn't break the law. I am the law.
But when in the beginning, when you had James Remar in the beginning, and Stallone, points the gun at him, and he has the mask on, he has like that Cobra voice. I'm like, that's good. I kind of wish that was Stallone the whole movie with the helmet on. Talking like Cobra, but they decided to go with the over the top stuff. I'll tell you what though, Judge Dredd. I mean, it's a really good looking movie. The money's really well spent. It's a really good looking movie. The budget's very well spent on the film. I can definitely see they had a budget. Who's the bad guy? Armand Assante. Yeah. The musical score. The musical score is much bigger, much more louder. I mean, it's so weird seeing Rob Schneider in Judge Dredd. It really is. Just a really comic relief. I mean, I like Rob Schneider, but it was just kind of like weird seeing him in a Judge Dredd movie with him and Stallone. It's like it's a pretty weird combo. Sylvester Stallone and Rob Schneider.
Was he also in Demolition Man as well?
Yeah, he was.
No, Demolition Man. That was Jack Black had a little role in that.
Rob Schneider in
definitely in Demolition.
Rob Schneider was the one who said he doesn't know how to use the seashell.
Right.
And Jack Black was in the Demolition Man.
Jack Black was, but he's briefly seen in one scene, and that is it. And actually, I was. That's so funny you brought that up about Jack Black, because he just did a recent interview and he talked about being on that film. And he was essentially an extra, and they kept not using him in scenes. And so one day he decided, he's like, I don't need to be there. And his agent called him and was like, where are you? They need you for this scene. And so he like rushed over there, And yeah, so but yeah, he's only briefly seen in that movie. I think it's only in like one scene.
It's in that. I think it's the scene
with Dennis
Leary.
Dennis Leary, yeah.
Yeah, he's like Junkyard or something like that. I think that's the character he plays.
Junkyard. They were all living under the city. Yep.
Yeah, Junkyard something. I know that, but yeah, but Judge Dredd's definitely my guilty pleasure for Sly, just because how over the top he is without the helmet on.
Yeah.
And it's hard to believe too that that director went on to do. Yeah, it was before this. Danny Cannon, who went on to do "I Still Know What You Did Last Summer."
That had Jack Black in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
He's the best part. Jack Black was the best thing about that movie.
Hey, girl.
Seriously, don't do that, man.
Is there anything I can do? Oh.
And then when he gets,
I like how they made fun of him. I like how they made fun of him in Scary Movie. Remember that one part? Like, and what was the sequel with the fat Jamaican guy? Oh, let's kill that motherfucker.
that movie is horrendous, but Jack Black's the only redeeming quality about that movie. He really is. If we want my full honest opinion, Jack Black's the only redeeming quality about "I Still Know What You Did Last Summer."
Rob, I agree with Rob Brandy.
Yeah, they have Brandy in the movie. Come on.
She was like a what? She had her show at the time, right? That's what they cast her.
Some folks just can't play. Shut up.
But yeah, I mean, we already kind of alluded to this, but underrated. You can pick that next.
Okay, underrated for Stallone and Arnold. Okay.
I already have in mind.
For my underrated Stallone film, I guess we'll do Stallone first. You know, I want to. I mean, his most underrated movie. I want to because like, you know, I feel like Cobra is underrated, but I feel like kind of I don't know if like do you consider that kind of underrated Cobra, or do you think it kind of has,
well?
Do you think it has
like
following nowadays?
I feel like I don't want to say it's become a cult classic, but it has a cult following. So
yeah, that's why I'm saying like I mean I want to say. I mean, I do think Cobra is underrated, but I kind of already mentioned that for my favorite Stallone film. So I'm going to pick something different for an underrated movie, and I have one right here. Easily for me, like the most underrated Stallone film. I mean, like I can't believe I almost forgot this one where he can do acting chops. Like you mentioned Rocky, you mentioned Copland, but for me, for his most underrated movie is another one where he showed he can act, and that's Lock Up.
Oh yeah, great one. Yep.
I think that's I'm going to go with that one for his most underrated, Lock Up.
Nice choice. That's one that kind of I forget about, but yeah.
Yeah, Lock Up. I mean, that's kind of the main reasons why I don't care for Escape Plan, because I feel like it's just like a not as good of a version as Lock Up.
Escape Plan. I will say this: it is still not an action film. It's more of a thriller. Because there's no action. The only action is like the third act when Jim Caviezel is trying to shoot at him and they're trying to get out.
I mean, like I like Jim Caviezel as an actor, but I feel like Donald Sutherland was a better bad guy than Jim Caviezel.
I agree with that.
I just think Donald Sutherland as the evil warden of the prison is just fantastic.
I've always been a fan of Lock Up. Like I just
yeah.
Joe Conti did the music.
And the guy and the director of Alfred Justice did Lock Up, which is Alfred Justice is another great movie with Seagal. Yeah, so that's my most underrated for Stallone is Lock Up. Love Lock Up.
All right.
How about you, Rob?
I'm going to pick Daylight.
Oh,
okay. Daylight. Did we see that in theater?
I think we did.
At the here.
I saw it in the theater, but
I thought I saw it with you. I thought I did because I know I saw it in the theater.
Yeah. Well, then it was probably you and I.
Yeah, because I have no friends.
Yeah, you guys probably saw it and didn't realize you were in the same theater.
We've seen so many movies together.
No, but
It's funny.
Daylight, man, like it's such a simple movie where people are trapped and he goes in there. To me, it kind of felt like a version of Cliffhanger.
Poseidon Adventure is what it reminds me of.
Well, that too, yeah. But like, you know how he's trying to climb up stuff and try to, you know, get these people out, and like, the music is fantastic soundtrack, and his actual son is in the movie. Sage, you know, rest in peace. He's not with us. But no one talks about Daylight. Like no one talks about it. It's just it sucks. Like,
just to go a little bit on a tangent on Daylight. My I don't even want to say it's a gripe, but like the one problem I have with that film, I feel like he should have died at the end of that movie and not survived. I feel like if that would have happened, like I would be like, that's a great film.
No, wait, didn't they have a version of that? Like, wasn't there another?
That might have been the original. The original script might have had him dying. Maybe Sly was like, "Oh, let's not kill my character." Right. I don't know, but yeah, I do love that movie. But I just wish at the end he would have like sacrificed himself instead of surviving.
One of the gripes I had was the main chick. I didn't really care for her. I thought she was sort of like,
that's Judging Amy. What's the actress' name?
Yeah, I don't remember, but she I felt like she just wasn't likable. I don't know, like they tried to create some kind of. They try to create some kind of love thing at the end with him and her.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Amy Brenneman, the actress.
Yes.
Okay.
That's who it is.
That was the mom in Fear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the stepmom or something like that.
Nothing against her as an actress. I felt like in that movie they tried to push her into being important, but she really wasn't. Like she didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Danielle Harris was also in that as she was younger.
Was she really?
Yeah, she was in the family.
She was the kid.
The kid.
Wow.
And the guy with the beard, he was in other movies.
Viggo Mortensen was the
Viggo Mortensen got killed.
Climber.
He got killed. But the guy with the beard, he was in The Day After Tomorrow.
You got Dan Hedaya from I don't know if you know Dan Hedaya from The Usual Suspects.
Oh, you know who else was in that? Miles Dyson.
I don't know how much longer I can hold this.
He's in that movie.
Oh,
wait, off topic. That part in Terminator 2 always confused me when I first saw it.
What? Where
like what? Yeah, it was like that's a weird way to die. Is he having does he having trouble breathing? I know he got shot, but it's like
well,
weird.
I mean, what do you do?
I don't know. It's like because like in movies, in action movies, like every time they get shot, they just die and they're just kind of like.
Hey, he deserves the medal. He tried to keep everyone from exploding.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
He got his lungs shot out.
Then he failed.
What about, what about his wife and kid? Like, whoa, did they know he was gonna sacrifice himself? They don't really show that, but whatever. That's Terminator. No, it's off topic.
Well, he should have died and created that nonsense.
Nonsense.
Oh my goodness. And on top, when you talk about how your most underrated was Daylight, it's sad what that director went on to do after Daylight. I mean, have you seen what this director has done lately?
No, lately no.
This guy went on to direct Mummy 3.
Dude.
Alex Cross.
Rob Cohen?
Yeah. Rob Cohen.
He directed the original Fast and Furious.
He did he went on to do Mummy 3, Alex Cross, and The Boy Next Door with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh God. You know what? I take that back. Daylight. I like.
So, what's your most rated, Dan?
Okay, so my choice is going to be Over the Top.
Yes. Oh, it's great! It's so good.
You know, that's definitely a movie that gets made fun of as far as Sly's movie. Like, oh, he's arm wrestling, but it's essentially a Rocky type. It's an underdog story. Yeah, it's got heart and it's got. I mean, the action scenes are are good, I guess, if you want to consider arm wrestling scenes. But I thought the dynamic between him and the kid, the actor, was good, and I like the soundtracks.
Oh, amazing soundtrack.
I know. So, I know people say that the kid's annoying, David Mendenhall. I didn't find him annoying at all.
I mean,
you know what? He voiced Daniel in the Transformers animated movie.
There were a couple times I wish Stallone would have punched him through the face, but I mean, other than that,
Michael Cutler is my boy. Damn you!
It's gonna hurt, Wimp. What do you think of that? I think you're breadsticks. Nice comeback, you idiot.
Wait, breadsticks?
Is that what he said?
I think your breath stinks.
Oh, is that what he said? I say breadsticks?
You said breadsticks.
What the fuck? I don't know why I said breadsticks.
Breadsticks.
No turn Hawks.
Okay,
You got a prayer in Vegas.
I mean,
are you craving breadsticks?
I don't know why.
So yeah, Over the Top is what my choice
Over
would be.
the Top. It's a great.
What are you doing with that guy? He's my father. Too bad. This guy's a pedophile.
Asshole.
This guy's a pedophile. Get away from me.
Isn't he dead? Is Bull Hurley dead? I think he's dead.
Yeah, Rick Zumwalt. Yeah.
Who's the first guy that he arm wrestles in that bar? He looks like Diamond Dallas Page with a beard.
Yeah.
He looks like,
They used arm wrestlers for that movie.
oh man.
And you know, Rick Zumwalt had a role in Batman Returns.
Do you want it?
Oh yeah, he's like, yeah, go ahead, hit me, and that's when Batman murders him. He murders that guy.
That's right.
So, remember he had the bomb on him?
Any asshole that points out
He had the bomb. The guy had the.
You gotta watch. Look at what happened in the Tim Burton films.
That is true.
People
That's what
back
pisses
then.
me off about Batman v Superman when they're like, "Oh, Batman kills people."
Yeah. Oh, that's never happened before.
He does in the comics too.
Watch
In the early comics, he did. Yeah.
The Tim Burton Batman movies, he kills it.
That was a dumb argument. I mean, anything else you want to say is fine. I mean, but that argument was like not enough to do justice to what has been done.
Yeah, all the stuff in Batman vs Superman, that's him killing people is the one that I'm not bothered by it at all, honestly.
He is.
Whatever.
It wasn't until I noticed. I'm like, oh my god, that's the guy from Over the Top, the guy that has the bomb on him, and then Batman smiles at him.
And he smiles at him.
You want it? You're trying to back out. I said, you want it? Why not? I'm gonna tear this guy's arm off. He doesn't. What an idiot!
I like when he turns the hat around.
It's like a switch that goes on.
I feel like a truck.
Second sucks.
All right, Alex, what's yours, buddy?
I'm gonna have to go with Rocky 2 because I remember before I rewatched that one, you guys mentioned that all the Rocky movies, nobody really talks about that one. They talk about all of them except for that one. And I watched it again, like, that's kind of weird because it's actually a really great follow-up.
It is
to the original. Yeah, I like how it goes. It starts really where the original left off. It's the same night, and then we see how it picks up, and how Apollo kind of wants revenge because his ego. Yeah.
Was that his first directing debut, or was it not his first directing?
I believe that was Stallone's first film that he directed. Yeah.
That would be 79, so probably yeah. I mean, Rocky 2.
He did a really good job.
It's almost equal. I mean, it is up there with the first movie for me. I feel like
one big movie. Yeah.
I feel like it's almost perfect from the first movie. So I mean, that's a good choice.
Yeah, you can watch Rocky 1 and 2 as just binge watch it as a whole movie.
It has the same feel to it.
Right.
And you are correct. That's the one that gets talked about the least, I would say, out of all the films.
Actually, Stallone's directorial debut was Paradise Alley. Sorry.
That's the other one I was thinking. I was like, I wonder if it was Paradise Alley, but I couldn't remember when that one came
I don't know why.
Well,
that's the one thing I don't get is how come Stallone doesn't direct more? I mean, he's a great director. Rocky 2 and 3, Rocky 4, Rocky Balboa, or the first Rambo from 2008, the first Expendables. I think he should direct more movies.
But you know what? He actually ghost directs a lot of these
Ghost direct
films. What?
No, I just repeated what you said.
Oh, which is actually kind of unfortunate. Because I think sometimes, I think Sly has his ups and downs. I think sometimes he's humbled, and then he's like.
Some other times he's he has his ego.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like
it's kind of like it's kind of like what happened on the set of Nighthawks. Like when they got done filming, I remember hearing the story somewhere about Nighthawks when they got wrapping the movie up. Stallone went back in and cut a lot of wanted to cut up some of more of Rutger Hauer's scenes because he wanted to kind of be like the center of the movie. Stallone.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. I might have read that as well. But yeah, he. You know, what was it? Like Bullet to the Head and like Escape Plan.
I think even Get Carter.
Yeah, Get Carter. What's one of his other newer ones? Driven, Rennie Harlan. Yeah, it's like he likes to, that's the thing. He likes to get his hands in everything because he's actually a good writer and a good director. But the problem is that's bad sometimes because then he has to focus on other things. Well, but like his ego, like Thomas was saying, I think kind of gets the better of him sometimes, and then it ends up.
Well, a perfect example is Expendables. Expendables 1. He directed the second one. He was just kind of there,
He wrote that one, right? Expendables 2. He still wrote that one.
I think he did. I think he did all three.
I still like the first one the best, and he directed that one. So I think, I think he's a great director.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he hasn't directed since the first Expendables. I think he should direct more.
Yeah, I mean, I remember after Expendables 1, he said it was so hard directing and starring and writing that. It took so much out of him. I think that's why he's kind of...
I mean, it's not an easy job being a writer, director, and starring as the lead. I mean, granted, not an easy job.
The new Rambo.
When you're older.
Yeah, he directed the new Rambo. Yeah, or Rambo 4.
Yeah, Rambo 4.
Yeah, then he write the Rambo 4 too.
It's possible. Yeah, I honestly don't know for sure.
Because there's 2 cuts of the film. There's.
Oh, you know what? It would. Well, no, yeah, he probably did.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my pick. Rocky 2, underrated.
Rocky 2.
Great one. It's a really good follow-up to the first movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
did we do Arnold yet?
I don't know. We haven't done that.
Oh yeah, the most underrated of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. So who wants to go first for the most?
I will be shocked if we all have different picks for this one because I have one that I think come on, everybody should agree with this one. Underrated.
You go first, Alex, because I don't have anything in mind. So go ahead,
Really?
Alex.
Yeah, you want to go first, Alex? Go right ahead.
Yeah, easily, hands down, most underrated Arnold film is Last Action Hero. I mean, that movie is.
I'll tell you what. I agree. That's an underrated one, but that's not my pick. But it was close.
But when you look at, look at it now. It's like the movie is so much cleverer than people give it credit for.
I mean, Last Action Hero is a lot of fun. I mean, it's a really fun action film, and on top of that too,
it's a parody film.
It's
action.
Yeah, it's like and on top of that too, your main bad guy is Tom Noonan from Manhunter. I mean, how cool can you get?
It's been forever since I've seen Last Action Hero, so I can't.
I feel like Last Action Hero is probably the least. Out of all the films that John McTiernan has done, it doesn't get the most recognition out of his popular movies.
Yeah, and then Shane Black wrote it, so in his
better days. I'll tell you what, I mean, because John McTiernan has Die Hard 1 and 3, Predator, and Last Action Hero, and after that, I know he did Basic Instinct, which I sadly the last film that he directed was the crappy remake of Rollerball.
He didn't do Basic Instinct.
No, he didn't. No, we did Basic Instinct.
No, he did. That's Paul Verhoeven, bro.
No, Paul Verhoeven. Oh, was that Paul Verhoeven?
Yeah, that's Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah, for some reason, I'm like, wait a minute, that was Paul Verhoeven, wasn't it? I got that mixed up.
It was.
Because I know one of those action directors did a drama film in between their time.
Right.
Yeah, that was Paul Verhoeven who did Basic Instinct. Sorry.
But yeah, because one of the things I love about Last Action Hero is like especially when you're a kid, when you're watching these action movies, you picture yourself in the movie. Like, what would it be like if I actually was in there? It's like, okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, you kind of get sucked into a movie within.
You're in a movie world where things are fantasy. Like the hero doesn't get a scratch on them. Everything's okay.
It's kind of like it's a movie within a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then when he comes into the real world, it's like, I'm not a real person. Like, I'm a fake character.
Yeah, exactly.
Weird.
Yeah, I think that's what makes Last Action Hero really clever.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, I tell you what, that's a really great choice. That's a really.
It's funny. I'm pretty sure you noticed already that Bruce Willis was up for the main role of Last Action Hero.
Really?
I thought it would have been pretty cool if they had him.
Yeah, weren't there any other choices besides Bruce Willis before Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I know Bruce Willis was like the top choice.
I want to look that up because I feel like their IMDb had.
He was. I know he was considered.
Last Action Hero. Looking up.
Like I know they wanted to get one like an action star. They didn't want to get like some guy who was imitating action heroes. Like they actually wanted to get action.
I'm looking up. Says
Conway and Archer, Terry Funk, and he was also in Over the Top.
Where is the?
But that's my pick for a most underrated Arnie film, Last Action Hero.
Okay,
great one.
All right, who's next?
So who wants to go next?
Not me. I don't have one. I need to think about it.
You got yours, Thomas, or do you want me to go?
I actually do have mine. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't you? You can go.
Okay. So I feel like for me, the most underrated Arnold Schwarzenegger film for me, I have to go with The Running Man.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like The Running Man is a. I mean, when people think about Arnold films, that no one ever really brings up The Running Man. I feel like that was kind of like the forgotten, out of the one, because he did that and Predator both the same year, and people remember Predator, but now people remember The Running Man too much, and I feel like that's a shame because I think The Running Man is one of his most. It is his most underrated movie. I know that film went through a couple directors at one point before they got Paul Michael Glaser from the Starsky and Hutch TV show. I know they went to Andrew Davis because of Code of Silence with Chuck Norris. And I think Arnold wanted to work with Andrew Davis because Arnold's a big fan of Code of Silence. And much later on in his career, Arnold would work with Andrew Davis on Collateral Damage. And and on top of that, I just think it's a really cool idea. And on top of that too, many people don't realize it was based on a Stephen King book.
Yep.
But it was under the name Richard Bachman, which was his maiden name. And I remember, I know, the book was way different than the movie itself. I mean, because I know in the book,
like always,
in the book version, Arnold's character dies at the very end of the book. He sacrifices himself. I'm glad they didn't go with that ending in the movie because I feel like the way they ended it was great with him and Maria Conchita Alonso falling in love at the end. And on top of that too, one of the most standout things about the most standout thing about The Running Man was Richard Dawson.
Oh right,
Richard Dawson is great as Killian. And on top of that too, I love that whole thing before Killian gets launched in that tunnel looking thing. I love the whole line of dialogue between him and Arnold. He's like, I may not be in the business as long as you, Killian, but I'm a quick learner. And then he slams Richard Dawson into the thing, and he's like, "You bastard, drop dead. I don't do requests." So good. I mean, The Running Man. That's without a doubt my pick for most underrated of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love The Running Man.
Okay.
Yeah, pick Rob.
I would go with Collateral Damage. I think that's very underrated.
Really good.
I would, you know what? I'd say that and Terminator 3. Terminator.
I thought you were gonna say Terminator 3.
Well,
that's what I thought you were
gonna say. I was tied between those two. No one talks about Collateral Damage, but no one ever talks about Terminator 3. It's always Terminator Genesis being shit, or Terminator Salvation being kind of underrated, or no one likes it. But Terminator 3, it's like
no. Every time people mention Terminator 3, it's always negative.
Yeah, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. But Collateral Damage. I feel like the fact that he loses his family in that bomb, when the bomb goes off, and so then he pursues justice on his own. I felt like, it was one of those revenge films where he just goes to take care of business himself, and
so it's it's kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger's version of Death Wish.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like. He plays a character that's not well known, but it's like I still like the story and I still like the action, and
it's because it came out at the wrong time.
Yeah, it did.
But I mean, even nowadays, when you mention Schwarzenegger films, no one says Collateral Damage at all. Like, no one mentions it.
No, no one does at all.
I watch a lot of videos. I watch a lot of videos of people talking about, their favorite Schwarzenegger Stallone films, but no one mentions Collateral Damage.
And I feel like it's a good choice. It's a really underrated one.
I'm trying to I actually own that movie, but I don't remember a lot about it. So
I think you and I saw it in the theater.
Probably. I do remember him going, "I'll show you Collateral Damage."
I'll give you fucking Collateral Damage.
I think I'm gonna go with. It's probably a movie I know you don't care for it, and you guys probably don't care for it, and it's not very memorable, but for some reason I do like this film, Terminator Genesis.
I
was waiting.
Terminator.
Worst Terminator movie ever.
Like Terminator Sega Genesis.
I do enjoy that movie. I can't really think of why I enjoy it so much. I feel like it was acted well. And there are some aspects. I like the first half of the movie really a lot, but it doesn't have very memorable action scenes. But I don't know. I do. Maybe that should be my guilty pleasure, not underrated. But it did underperform, and it's not one like. But yeah, it's one that I actually enjoy it. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna walk out of the room now. Bye bye.
We don't know yet. Maybe Terminator 6 will be worse. We don't know.
We never know.
Hamilton looks like she's about to croak, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, you can say the same thing about Arnold, to be fair.
No. Well,
especially in Genesis, when he's a lot older in the later scenes, where he's like pretty much grandpa Terminator.
I wonder if that's what we're gonna get in the new one. I wonder how they're gonna address that.
Yeah, well, I think it's Arnold as old Arnold as the guy who molded the Terminator. You know what I mean? Like the look.
Right.
We're getting.
Well, he's definitely. There's actually rumors because we all know that they're retconning 3, 4, and 5. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
After the second one, there's actually rumors that they're going to actually retcon the ending of Terminator 2, and the Terminator that Arnold is playing in this is the Terminator from Terminator 2, and he didn't put himself in the lava.
That wouldn't make any sense, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they'll retcon the end.
They'll shoot the scene. It'll probably start from the beginning, or the beginning of the movie will start at the end of T2, and it's going to show maybe something that. But then again, it don't make sense. You're watching Terminator 2. How would they even do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
hopefully that they're not going to do that. But I've heard that is a possibility.
I'll walk out of the damn theater.
Oh, you know what? Freaking remember the scene at the end of Terminator 2 when Arnold when he's fighting the T-1000? Remember his arm gets caught in the machine and gets
Right.
cut off. We never find out what happens after that.
Well, no, you're right, exactly right. So that's
he destroys himself, and then they throw the chip in the lava. But the other arm, they don't mention that.
Exactly.
Not even in the extended cut. So
right.
it's like,
no, you're right. That was actually left open and probably on purpose so they could make more movies.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But they never even mentioned that in the Terminator 3.
You're right. Yeah.
Terminator 3 didn't mention a lot of things.
That is true.
Yeah.
We never find out what happened to John Connor's friend.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really care for Nick Castle.
Or Nick
Or
Stahl.
Nick Stahl.
Castle. Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
I don't care for Michael Myers in Terminator 3. He's with John Connor. Man,
He didn't
do anything. Say nothing. He didn't say anything. He stood there.
You're just breathing.
What an idiot.
First it was breadsticks, and now it's Michael Myers.
Oh my God. I
Nick
need
Castle.
to sleep.
Why does Nick Castle keep tilting his head to the side?
Why does he not answer me when I'm like, Michael? Say something.
Nick Stahl. Nick Stahl is the way you.
Yeah, Nick Stahl.
Yeah, he was miscast.
Very.
Yeah, I still like the film, but I don't know.
I do too. But I don't know. We'll see what the next one. It's
Yeah.
another wreck.
Well, whatever.
So that's
So,
it. I mean, it's
underrated. Underrated. Pick,
Yep.
yeah.
I think so. Yep.
I know, like sometimes we'd like to, I guess, talk about the worst. If you guys want to get into that.
Like their worst film.
Oh, like their worst absolute film they've done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we probably all agree on most of them. Probably.
Yeah. So who wants to go first? Who wants to go first?
Oh, wait,
Stallone.
Stallone for
Let's
Stallone.
do Stallone first. Do Stallone first.
Okay.
Man, I don't know which of these two. I have two in mind. I'm not gonna include Backtrace or Escape from 2 because he's not the lead of those films.
Yeah,
He's like a supporting supporter.
It's weird.
Man, I know I have two in mind. Can I just say two? I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
just say
Say two. Who cares? Yeah.
I'm dabbling between Stop or My Mom Will Shoot or Avenging Angelo.
Oh.
Have you guys seen those?
Yes, and they're both horrifically bad movies. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot is so unfunny, and Avenging Angelo is just boring.
I thought you were gonna say Spy Kids 3.
I'm trying to think of like a starring film for them.
Oh, he's the starring villain in that movie, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, but I guess I'm gonna say Avenging Angelo is his worst, and the reason I'll pick that one because everyone picks Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, and they all know of that film and say, "Oh, it's terrible." Avenging Angelo, people probably haven't even seen that movie, but that was a low point for Stallone, and that's another reason I'm going to pick it because when he made that film, there's one scene at the end where you see him. I don't want to say shirtless, but he's got like a muscle shirt on, and he looks terrible. Like you could tell, like his career was so bad at that point, he wasn't even exercising at all. Like he looked bad, and there's a fight scene at the end of that movie, and it's just terrible. There are some funny parts in that movie, but yeah, I guess I'll say that
That's
one.
a good one. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Not much of that towards that movie, Avenging Angelo. Not much.
It was the last film of a popular. Who was the old actor that was in that? It was his last film. I can't think of. Thomas, can you look that up?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Thomas is our fact checker, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, Anthony Quinn.
Yes, Anthony Quinn. So he was a well-known actor, and that was like his last film he was in, which is bad. But I remember that movie was Stallone's first direct-to-DVD film, Avenging Angelo. That was his first movie that did not go to the theater. And
no, I thought I See You was.
Well, I See You actually went to select theaters overseas.
Yeah, overseas.
Not in the U.S., but it did. It was called Detox. Did you know that?
I know it was Detox overseas.
Yeah, so it did have limited release. Overseas, but yeah, it did not have a U.S. release. But Avenging Angelo was direct, and it had no release anywhere. And I remember I picked that up at Walmart, and I remember watching it at home and just being like, man, like, I felt like at that time, I'm like, Sly's career's over. I was like, I can't believe it. So that's my pick.
That's pretty bad.
Oh my god.
Okay, Rob, what's your pick?
I'm gonna pick Driven. I hated that movie.
Oh my god.
I hated Driven. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Rennie Harlan and them reunite from cliffhanger for this movie.
I mean, the only cool scene was when they're on the streets racing those Indy cars, and he's trying to catch what's his name,
Kip Carrington.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the kid from what's that called? The Titans. Remember the Titans. He was in the Remember the Titans, and yeah, he's chasing him down the streets. Like that was probably the only cool thing, but the movie was so boring. It was I hated it.
There wasn't too much to the movie.
There wasn't.
That was another film that there was I don't want to say problems, but there was a lot of like rewrites, and what came out was like not what was originally intended.
I don't mind Stallone trying different things, like he's an IndyCar driver, but Tom Cruise did it better in Days of Thunder.
He did.
You know, I mean,
were they formula racers in Driven? Was that what they were?
Yeah, they're like formula cars.
Yeah, like when that came out, like that wasn't even like a popular at the time when that movie came out. It wasn't like that was popular. So why were they like? They made that movie. And they tried to make in the movie. They tried to make like the Formula One racers like this is like a grand thing, and it was like no, it isn't.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So it came out. So it came out right before Fast and Furious.
It was like 2000, 2001 or something like that.
Wasn't it before? I remember watching Fast and Furious for the first time at your house.
2001.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
That is a good choice. I'll tell you what, that's a really good choice. Who wants to go next? You or me, Alex?
You can go next. Up.
For me, I mean, like I tell you what, I mean, Avenging Angelo was a good choice. So was Driven, and you know, Stop My Mom Will Shoot. I mean, like you know, for me, I mean, I could have gone Expendables 3.
Mm-hmm.
I could have gone, you know, Bullet to the Head. But for me, for my words, I got to go Grudge Match.
Oh.
What would happen if Raging Bull and Rocky fought? I don't give a shit.
It's not even the characters.
Worst. Oh. Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like how they were mocking. They were mocking, you know, Rocky and Raging Bull. Like I just didn't see the point. Like,
yeah, it's like, oh, you know, what would happen if they fought together? I don't care. I mean, back in the day, that would have been a really cool crossover.
I mean, I don't care for Escape Plan really, but I'd rather watch Escape Plan than watch Grudge Match.
Escape Plan is far better than Grudge Match, but I think Escape Plan is not really much to it still. That's why I kind of prefer Lockup over Escape Plan. But yeah, I feel like, you know, Grudge Match, I mean, it's so many, like, you talk about like an annoying comedy, Kevin Hart being annoying as he can in Grudge Match. I think wasn't there like a one joke where some guy's son was named BJ or something.
Yeah, dude, that's hilarious.
There's BJ and the Bears, so it's like
Yeah, I think that was the character name of John Bernthal, I think.
Yeah, it was De Niro's kid's son, which John.
I find that so ironic that his name was BJ because that's his initials backwards, John Bernthal.
I guess that's what you're trying to go for.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Nope.
Hey, Alan Arkin's in that movie, and he always is great.
I like him.
He even though that you're right about the movie, like Alan Arkin, it's like I love watching him.
Oh yeah, he's great, Alan Arkin.
Even in bad movies.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the best things about the movie.
You know, a movie I watched the other day. This is off topic, but Alan Arkin's in it. This is a movie that did not do well, and people don't like it. And I don't get it. I love the movies. The Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't a fan of that one, honestly.
What's that?
I wasn't a fan of that one.
Yeah, most people aren't, but I think that movie's hilarious.
I don't remember Burt Wonderstone that much. I saw it once when it was new, and I don't remember too much about it, so I can't really comment.
I just watched it again. I watched it with my kids because they hadn't. Well, we were just trying to find a movie, and I was like, I think you guys will like this. And I was like, man, this movie's funny. Like, I don't get the hate for this movie.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say North.
What?
I thought you were gonna say North.
Oh, North?
Because Alan Arkin is in that movie. He plays the judge or whatever.
Oh my god!
Oh,
yeah,
he is in that one. Okay.
Yeah, he plays the judge that
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh my god! I almost forgot that.
Yeah, he was the judge. Yelling at the parents. But yeah, I would have to go with Bullet to the Head.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's one that Dan and I didn't like at first, but I actually like it now.
Yeah.
Oh god. Because him, Sly, and Han from Fast and Furious have like no body chemistry whatsoever.
Han sucked. I don't like him.
Yeah,
that was good. That was going to be Thomas Jane. That was going to be Stallone.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
That would have been better.
It would have been.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Thomas Jane, and it's based on a graphic novel, I think. And Walter Hill was supposed to direct the movie, and I don't remember what exactly happened, but a lot of things changed. And I think I'll be honest. I'm sorry, Alex. I don't mean to take over on that.
That's fine.
I feel like that fight scene at the end of that movie, I feel like that was Sly's last good fight scene. Like, I think when him and Jason Momoa are fighting with the axes, I think that's a good action scene.
Yeah, that is pretty decent.
The gun violence in that that's violent. Like, it's very.
And Sly's in awesome shape in that movie.
Yeah,
but like Han was terrible.
He was miscast. Totally.
I hated that character.
It should have been Thomas Jane, not
Thomas Jane.
Yeah, it should have been Thomas Jane, but I think he got fired because the producer thought you can't have two white guys. You need an ethnic.
Yeah, definitely. It had something to do with the producer stepped in. But Alex, so that's your worst Sly movie?
Yeah, Bullet to the Head.
Okay. What's anything to add on that, or?
Oh, I don't like that movie. I don't want to have much to say. I saw it, and I didn't like it, and then I never saw it again. I never thought about it till tonight.
Oh, all right.
Like,
Fair enough.
I guess we'll move on to Arnold Schwarzenegger now.
Yeah, this should be interesting.
Yeah, this ought to be interesting. Yeah, this one. So, who wants to go first for their worst Arnold film?
I feel like I need to pull up his movies.
I can go first.
Okay.
Junior.
Arnold being pregnant. What more can you say?
I didn't even think that movie was funny at all. Like, it just.
You didn't think pregnant?
Yeah, he's. What the?
Danny DeVito makes him pregnant.
Oh.
I mean, come on. I mean, people could probably say Batman and Robin, but it's like.
Yeah, that's my choice. You know what? That's not my choice because Alex brought this up, and it is true. Like I hate that movie, but Arnold is good in it because
he was having fun.
He had fun with it, and
he did, yeah.
And he was probably the only thing that I liked about the movie. So yeah, I won't say that for his.
Okay.
So Junior, no.
Yeah, it's Junior.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Same
I probably
here,
won't. I probably won't watch it every.
It's been years for me, but I just remember. Oh, God! Like, I'm pregnant. Having a baby.
I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant.
Oh, I think I know what I'm gonna say, but you guys go ahead. I just came up with it.
Okay.
Tom, you wanna go next?
I'll go next. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, like, going through Arnold's filmography, I mean, like, I could go Hercules in New York, but that doesn't really count because it was his first movie, trying to speak English. So I'm not going to go with that one. I'm scrolling through his movie list, and there's not really a ton of stinkers here that I can pick. I mean, I could have went with Junior, but Batman and Robin, you know, guilty pleasure. For me, though, I got to go Sabotage.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Right.
I was going to say Sabotage.
I think that for me Junior would be my worst, but Sabotage is like next. Like, oh, I hated that movie.
Yeah, we saw that in the theater.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I remember that video. You guys did that.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, I agree, Thomas. That was bad.
Yeah, it was horrible movie. Very bad.
The director of Suicide Squad.
Yeah, David Ayer. I almost forget that too. I almost forget.
Hey.
Suicide Squad did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arnold did have a memorable line in that movie, but I don't remember what it was. Like another funny, like Arnold quip.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
I never seen that movie, but did they play the Beastie Boys song Sabotage in it?
I don't know.
I don't even remember. It's so forgettable.
I want to watch it again to see.
I just remember when the movie was over, I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, Arnold's motivation for doing all this doesn't make any sense. And then we talked about it, and it was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, his whole team, their motivation didn't make any sense either.
So it's kind of like Expendables 3.
Expendables 3 is better.
Since they're both in Expendables 3, for me, Expendables 3, if they would have taken out all the young team, like that's what ruined the movie.
Yeah,
because I liked Wesley Snipes, and I know some people didn't, but I liked Antonio Banderas too. I liked his character.
I like Mel Gibson and Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah, they were good too. So
yeah, the young group that's a dumb dynamic that they had to put in.
And Sly, here we go again. I feel like his ego got the better of him in that movie because he made that movie all about him. Because it's like, oh, he fired his team and then like got a new team.
Yeah, it shows his team like sitting in hotel rooms and like doing nothing. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. It's like, you know, and he kind of defeated the purpose of what the Expendables is, because it's about all these old action stars teaming up together for a film that we could have seen like back in the day, and he kind of ruined that purpose. Like, oh, we gotta make it PG-13 and make the draw in the younger crowd. No, the younger crowd don't give a damn about your movies anyway, Sly.
Yeah,
the younger generation doesn't care about you. It's like the younger generation. The younger generation doesn't care about.
Care. Sly.
Yeah, that's exactly right though. Like, yeah.
Which later,
Arnold and Jet Li became gay.
They're gay in that movie.
Yeah.
Remember? We don't need a room. That's what he says.
Yikes! Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Badly.
And then later,
Ronda Rousey. Why do we need Ronda Rousey in every movie? I mean, the new Fast and Furious, or Fate of the Furious, whatever. Or no, Furious 7. What's with her? Why do we need Ronda in there?
Nah, I don't even know. Why is the guy from why is Kellen Love from Twilight in there? Can somebody answer that?
Oh, because Twilight's the greatest.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I loved
Hey, but to be fair, Thomas, your favorite movie of 2018 stars a guy who was in Twilight Zone. Okay, Rami Malek was in Twilight. If you didn't know,
Was he really?
I think he was. I don't know. He was. I think he was the later
You know,
ones.
the fact that you know that, Alex, we're done.
I actually just look it up just to throw in Thomas.
I know. Yeah. Oh.
So yeah, Sabotage.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Sucks.
Yeah, I say Sabotage too.
Without a doubt.
For Arnold, for worse, I'm gonna have to go with Terminator Genesis.
Okay.
Honestly,
I know
it's hard.
Something different. You said it was your worst and no one said anything, and I said it was a guilty pleasure and everyone gave me shit. So obviously, I'm in the minority here.
Yeah, you are. Because honestly, it's hard to find any like redeeming qualities for that movie.
Good for another drink.
What was something you liked about the movie?
Dude, I can't think of anything.
There's got to be one thing.
How about that cliffhanger after the credits?
How about Arnold being a T-1000 million whatever?
No.
How about that?
I like how we're
more
never
powerful.
gonna know what happened because it's
Good.
How about
not
Jason Clark disappearing with Transformium?
Oh my
He's
god!
Transformium. Michael Bay did that.
It's what they're made of.
Okay, actually, you know what? Actually, I do. Now that I'm thinking about it, because it's been a long time since I've seen it. I haven't seen it since it first came out, actually. But I did like J.K. Simmons in the movie.
Oh yeah.
I forgot he was in that.
I did like how the future was like pretty close to what we saw in the flashbacks of the first two movies, like with the laser guns and all that stuff. And I actually I did like how Jason Clarke finally played the John Connor, the legend John Connor, whereas like in Terminator Salvation, Christian Bale was just playing Christian Bale.
Jason Clark, is he in the new Pet Cemetery?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew that name sounded familiar.
I was wondering. Who
He's
that
in
was.
Everest too.
That's right.
This is John Connor.
What have you done with the detonator?
Where are all the
Yeah.
drugs going?
But there are things there. That's like only like one of the few things that Terminator Genesis did better than Salvation. Other than that, Salvation did other things better than.
I actually like Terminator Salvation.
Man,
It's
I
not
saw
that bad.
that a couple times.
It's not that bad. I mean,
No.
It's not, but it's not really good either.
Yeah, it's kind of bad.
yeah,
there.
it's kind of in the middle, maybe.
I do like how they portray Kyle Reese in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan of Sam Worthington.
Oh yeah. Fuck that guy.
Maybe you didn't like the Clash of Titans remake?
No,
No.
release the Kraken. I'll give you a Kraken.
And Avatar is overrated. My God.
What is?
Avatar.
You said Avatar.
Thank God I'm not the only one that thought that. Thank God.
Everybody
Yeah.
thinks that now.
Fuck all the sequels. You know what?
I hate James Cameron.
James Cameron is going on about Avatar. Why don't you focus on other shit that makes you popular?
I mean, like, wasn't that like the last film that he's done directed?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. He's got three of his movies are in like the top 5 moneymakers of all time.
Yeah. Titanic, Avatar, and what's the other one?
He broke his own record.
Right. Maybe it's just 2.
Well, he did True Lies. That's an excellent movie. Man,
No,
it is.
but it is just two: Titanic and Avatar.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
a lot of people can.
I remember my buddy was like telling me how great Avatar was, and I never said like, "Oh, you got to see it," and I never got around to seeing it. Then my buddy came over one night. This was many years ago, and he had it on DVD, and he brought it over. We had a DVD player, and I'm like, dude, oh my god, you gotta watch it. And I'm like, okay, you've been telling me about this for a while, and I'm like, okay, let me give this a look. I nearly fell asleep an hour in.
Really?
I couldn't keep myself awake. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get the hype this movie gets. I really don't.
I mean, the 3D was not bad, but
how about the fact that it's kind of like essentially a verbatim remake of Field of or Dances with Wolves?
Field of Dreams.
If you build it, they will come.
I meant Dances with Wolves. Like seriously, you guys seen Dances with Wolves?
Yeah.
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 Indians, and then he decides, yeah, Indians are good. I'm gonna join the Indians and then fight against America, just like an Avatar. Like, I'm gonna join the Nabooian people.
Naboo.
Naboo.
Or the Gungans?
We need Qui-Gon there.
Yeah, but like people consider, like a lot of people consider Titanic and Avatar like James Cameron's weakest movies. Even though like the biggest hits.
The damn love story is too long. I mean, I don't mind seeing the ship go down, but
I don't mind seeing the ship everyone die.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing that. That's fine, but
Yeah, but that's like the ending of the movie.
Yeah, that's easily the best part of the movie.
Look at me, Phil. What do you think you were doing? I'm Billy Zane.
Hey, that butler was Ra's al Ghul in Batman the Animated Series.
He was also in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Yep.
Professor.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're not stupid. They're infants. They're babies.
I don't like Ninja Turtles 2.
How dare you?
Either version, the new one and the old one.
You know what? The '90s version dominates.
The first one, yeah, not so much the second one.
How about the third one, man?
Oh man, Japan. They go to Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Great.
Help! I'm a turtle. I can't get up.
They're going to reboot that franchise again. I heard about that on Yahoo.com. Yahoo.
But yeah, those were. Everyone gets. I'm sorry, we always go on attention, but everybody picked the worst Arnold films.
I think.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. I picked Terminator Genesis. All you guys picked
Rob picked Jr. and me and Dan did Sabotage.
Right. All right. Well, we could talk about like they got two big movies coming up soon, both Arnold and Sly. Sly has.
Yeah.
What? Sly has. I know what you said.
This year.
This year, yeah. Sly has Rambo 4. Rambo 5. Last Blood.
I have not. It's been a while since I've been excited for a Stallone movie. I mean, I am excited for this one. I'm really looking forward to it.
I am too. But I'm just I'm still. I just hope.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that he doesn't have the long hair in the film.
There's one. I'm definitely not looking forward to Escape Plan. I'm not looking forward to Escape Plan 3.
Oh yeah,
that's probably one I'm most looking forward to, because I want to see him escape a prison again. That's his job.
Like Ray Breslin.
Hopefully this time they can get Kevin Hart in it.
Oh my god.
I'm excited for Terminator also, but the funny thing is like James Cameron, he was all praising Genesis when it came out. I remember him being like, "This is like the best Terminator since Terminator 2," and then then we got what we got.
You know what? He says he doesn't like superhero films either. He bashes superhero films.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like, you're just mad because no one likes your Avatar shit.
That's exactly why he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. Didn't he say like, "Oh, superhero movies are not that good," or something like that?
He doesn't understand why they get all this praise and stuff. Well, because people who read comics, like these kind of characters, and even people who don't, they like the movie. So who cares? Like, people like what they like.
Because isn't like his Avatar sequel supposed to be like underwater, and he was kind of like, so like Aquaman kind of that already.
He's a crotchety old man.
Yeah, he comes off that way.
Crotchety. Well.
I remember when people used to love me.
Stallone Schwarzenegger. Well.
Yeah, and then sure, he's gonna be in a new Terminator film. So.
I tell you, like I always say this to Dan, and like it's hard to talk about, but it's it's gonna happen eventually. These guys are getting up there in age, and it's like I don't know what I'm gonna do if they, if they both pass. Like they're just so important when it comes to the action genre.
Yeah,
like, we'll have their movies forever, but it's like I just can't fathom.
Nah, I can't fathom either. They're the two biggest action stars of all time.
Yeah,
top two.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you have Van Damme and Seagal and all that stuff, but like the top two are Arnold and Sly.
Yeah.
You can't get any bigger than those two guys.
What Thomas said.
Yeah, it's gonna be a shot in the heart.
I think they're both with how they both are physically. Like I feel like they put a lot of work into how they are health wise. Like my hope is that they will last a long time. I know Stallone's mom is still alive, so they have good genes in that family.
They work hard compared to any other action star today. Look how hard they work.
Yeah.
Would you say like the only one like that's close and like hardworking is like Tom Cruise?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Tom Cruise, I used to say I thought Stallone, as far as doing his own stunts, I mean, he was the top, but I mean, Tom Cruise has surpassed him. I mean, that man is nuts.
He is.
Yeah. He is. Yeah.
He's got a lot of great films, though, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not, honestly, like, in the 80s, like, I mean, Tom Cruise has been big for a while. I was never really a fan of Tom Cruise until Minority Report. And then I loved that film. And, like, everything he's had come out since then has been great. Like, mostly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big fan of it now.
Except the movie.
I've been a fan since All the Right Moves, Risky Business, and then on, like, with Top Gun and Days of Thunder and Taps. I don't know.
I think Taps.
Taps.
I don't know if I've heard of that one.
It's
what about Cocktail?
Cocktail. That's an underrated one.
Yeah. I like Cocktail.
Yeah.
How about Vanilla Sky?
That's a great one. I love Vanilla Sky.
That's underrated, I think.
Yeah.
What's the one that wasn't too good?
Magnolia?
Well, there's one, I think it's Eyes Wide. Was it Eyes Wide Shut, the one with Nicole Kidman?
Yeah, that was that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I cared for that.
Yeah.
I think that was Stanley Kubrick's last movie, I think.
Yeah. That was a weird-ass movie. There's, like, people in masks having sex and stuff. My God.
The Illuminati.
Castle's in it. He's having sex with
Castle's in it.
He's eating breadsticks.
I think you're breadsticks.
I meant to say breadsticks. I'm like, breadsticks. Shit. Oh,
Fuck you.
Oh my god.
So I guess you would say like The Mummy is like the one Tom Cruise movie nobody likes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to wrap this up. Dan's probably got to go. So
Sure, yeah. I mean, you guys want to have final thoughts of?
yeah, they suck. I'm just.
I'll say my final thoughts. I'd say
You're gonna kill Thomas.
Oh
Okay.
all right.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good over here.
I don't know. You sure?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine now.
All right, take it easy. Shit.
Yeah, I feel like when you look at the careers of these guys, I feel like the 80s, that was like when these guys were like head-to-head competing, and they both, I feel like, were equally loved and had equally like great films. And then I feel like in the 90s, I feel like Arnold definitely took a step ahead of Stallone. I feel like Stallone kind of wavered in some of his movie choices. But I do feel like in the 2000s, when they both their careers were kind of down, I feel like Stallone has had the better comeback than Arnold as far as movies go.
Yeah, because you figure, like you said, like they were at their peak in like the 80s, and then like when the 90s kind of rolled around, you figure you had like Stallone had things like, Oscar didn't do that well, Stop My Mom Will Shoot didn't do well, but then like Arnold had things like Total Recall, Terminator 2, True Lies.
Right,
So Arnold definitely had the upper hand in the 90s. And yeah, when you said like they rolled around like the 2000s, like when you think about comeback movies, I mean, I feel like Arnold, I mean, trying to remember like, Arnold in the 2000s, like you figure Stallone in the 2000s didn't really have many good movies in the 2000s, like Spy Kids 3, Avenging Angelo, Driven, or things like that. But then like Arnold had things like I think Collateral Damage was a good one that was in the 2000s.
And then became go.
Yeah, but then like Sly had Rocky Balboa in 06, and then he had Rambo in 07, and then he had Expendables in 2008 or 10. So it's like, yeah, he came back strong with those movies.
Yeah, because like I don't think Arnold was doing movies at that time, was he?
No, you're still good. You're still good.
The Last Stand was Arnold's kind of comeback movie, if I remember.
And did you notice that Stallone, it's in franchise movies?
Yeah.
Like Rocky and Rambo, of course, they're going to do good. So
that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arnold had, Terminator, but, it didn't do that great. And hopefully, I'm hoping the next one's good. So
I'm hoping so, yeah.
That first trailer, whenever it comes out, it needs to be good.
Yeah.
But then again, we're all going to end up watching it anyway. So
oh, yeah, I won't be there opening
we all
night.
We all got franchise disorder. Like, we got to keep watching the franchise, even if it gets really bad.
Yeah, we should.
All right. Yeah. Hey, Dan, it was cool that you came on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for letting me sit in. I know it's kind of like, you guys got the Rat Pack, so thanks for letting me sit in with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've been wanting you to join in forever.
Yeah.
And I don't have a camera on my computer, so I just came over.
That's fine. I mean, doing it this way is good enough.
Yeah,
I don't know about technology. This is like the first kind of thing I've ever done anything like this. So, and I'm turning 40 next week. I'm old.
Oh my god!
Uh,
Wow, my birthday's in a few months, back in June.
yeah.
I'll be 25.
So yeah, it was fun. It was fun having you on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
All right. Yeah. Well,
and next time, when next month, I guess it will be. Yes, we're gonna do the Marvel films, MCU.
Yep.
Marvel Studios films.
that's it.
That's in the cards.
Well, Captain Marvel comes out in 2 weeks, I think. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you're a fan, don't go see the movie.
I'm tired of this.
SJW.
SJW.
Yeah, we're not getting into that shit.
Oh,
But here's what I'm trying to plan. Like in between Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame, that's where we're gonna do our the entire franchise MCU.
Yeah.
Like how I want to do it is phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3.
okay.
Yeah.
I probably will not rewatch the ones that I don't like.
Wow. Hey.
I've been watching some. Like my oldest has been kind of interested in the Marvel movies, so we've been watching some of them. So I'm kind of getting caught up, so that I'll have some information to go over.
I just watched Black Panther. It's on Netflix, and I really, Black Panther was really good.
It is.
I really like it.
But save your thoughts. We're gonna get into that next
Oh,
one.
we're talking about it. Let's go.
Okay. Let's be here another 5 hours.
5 hours.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for anyone who's watching live or will watch this later.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I almost forgot because I keep forgetting to do this every time we get on. I do want to give shout outs because I promised a few shout outs to a few people.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out the Roundtable Show, which is a show I used to be on a few years ago. That's where I get the name Alex 2.0.
Okay.
I'll talk about the story about in context of when we go off air of why it's Alex 2.0. But yeah, they're on psn-radio.com. They do shows once in a while when they have the time. But yeah, I kind of learned how to kind of do all this a bit doing that, even though that was Skype and that was mostly audio, not video. And I do wanna kind of also give a shout out to I'm blank for some reason I'm blanking the damn name. 22 Shots of Moods and Horror. They did a live stream like last year, and it kind of like that kind of get me going. Like I kind of have to do this because it's really fun, and like I want all you guys at least to be part of this. So that was really cool. Also anyone who else wants to come on in the future with us. GM,
absolutely.
Horrific Nightmares, Lisa Loves, Sean Ursher. Bronco Juggalo.
Yeah,
absolutely. Those guys.
We'll get some more people on here.
Justin.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my shout out. So yeah. Till next time.
Yeah.
We're going to the MCU next time.
That's right.
I promise.
Yep.
Should aim for the
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Adios.